Welcome back. This is Chicken Philosophy, the Divine Pymander of Hermes Trismegistus, part 13, in which I will pick up right where Edward left off in part 12.
Hey, BT.
Oh, hey, Pymander. Hey. I was just about to start reading the Pymander. Do you want to read the Pymander?
No, not today. That's your thing.
So you're doing Buddhist books podcast or what?
Yeah, I was just about to start reading the Matrix and Diamond Mandalas in Shingon Buddhism. Shingon Part 12. I believe I'm in your past.
I think so. So what brings you to Chicken Philosophy today? What's on your mind?
I just wanted to stop by because I noticed that you finally gave a name to the current cycle of 15.
Yes, this is the yellow and orange episode in the first quinary of the Ashram 15.
It's a bit early. Usually you're at least halfway through before you guys settle on a name and an image and all that.
By names and images are all powers awakened and reawakened.
What is that image? It looks like you got two images there at once.
There's the chapel in the middle of the road where Chogam Road meets Fort Aguada Road in Kalangut on the way to Candolim.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As seen from the Sold store.
That's where I got this shirt I'm wearing.
Yes, that is where you got that shirt. The other image is the ceiling at Fat Fish, where we had dinner the other day.
Fat Fish, huh? Why ashram?
Well, Navi's staying with us for a while, and we're all three going through a kind of a hardcore, healthy period, diet and exercise kind of thing.
Good. Yeah, no, that's all good stuff. I hope that, it's not just a matter of diet and exercise. I hope that you embrace some of the other more, emphasized, well-known definitions of the word ashram, i.e., meditation and yoga and maybe a little bit less screen time.
I hope so too. We'll see.
So are you hardcore into ashram mode already?
Not yet. Starting tomorrow-ish, by the way. This is a cup of coffee. I won't be drinking coffee starting tomorrow.
Okay. So it's aspirational.
Yeah, as of now. Navi's birthday was a couple of days ago, so we're still transitioning from celebration to asceticism.
Yeah, those candles are actually the very same candles that are lit behind me. Those are the ones that she blew out.
Oh, cool. Nice.
All right. Well, I'll let you do your thing, and I'll start doing my thing.
Well, we'll make Shingon Part 12 today's end screen.
Thank you. That'd be very nice. Check out, Shingon Buddhism Part 12 when you're done watching BT read the Divine Pymander.
All right. Thanks for stopping by.
All right.
So that was fun. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. It feels like it's been a little while since we had a Chicken Philosophy episode. I guess that last one would have been a red and purple. Right, okay, so there's some new stuff. The red and purple petal has its own very special introduction. It's Gwydion, the early years. Some videos that haven't been on air in maybe a decade. You can check that out here now or later. It's basically a compilation of 3 videos made in the very early, 2007, 2008 era. Gwydion stuff. The black hat era. The black leather fedora era of Gwydion. And there's also an introduction to the purple petal that's much more recent stuff, only 2022 in Kerala, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Well, what else? I think that's it. That's all the new stuff. So we did the beverage. I introduced you to this profane corporate BS-free thing that I'm using for some reason. I don't know. Is it 90s cynical, ironic, proto-hipster, emo / grunge goth something carryover that doesn't make sense anymore in 2026 when it's a guy in his 40s doing it on a so-called philosophy channel in the form of not caring about the fact that he's drinking coffee out of a Nescafe cup. I don't know. These are mysteries which are evolved in the profound abyss of the mind. All right, I didn't do the asperges, so I won't do a formal incensum, but it is my favorite incense. It's Yangtze. I didn't draw too much attention to it because I've been burning it a lot lately, and I don't want to sound repetitive. Just because it's my favorite, and sometimes I just want to burn my favorite incense, especially when it's been a while since doing chicken philosophy type stuff. So, there you have it. A few of you know what it means when it cuts to music, particular music like that. And those who do will have an idea what kind of episode this is going to be. If this is your first time on the Divine Pymander series on chicken philosophy, feel free to click the orange pedal. That'll take you to the beginning of the orange pedal, which is Martin Luther. And it starts with the dialogue from a particular episode, I believe it was 36 of Carl Jung's Black Books, where the four of us decided to read Martin Luther. Then it's 55 episodes of Martin Luther, and then the Divine Pymander. So if you're only interested in Divine Pymander and you're not interested in Martin Luther, then when you get to the beginning of the orange pedal, scroll past the 55 episodes of Martin Luther. Simple stuff. Got it all in colored pedals now, just cuz. It feels right. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and read now. I hope it's good. Let's find out together. Chapter 11. Oh, that's never good. It's the different chapter 11. Mind to Herms. Is mind the same as Pymander, or is this a new character? I'm intrigued. Remember, we've been talking about mind lately. Pymander on that Shingon episode that he recorded yesterday, he's actually me, if anybody was confused. So maybe some people don't have like facial recognition, facial awareness type. There's only one guy. I'm the same guy. The editor Edward, say hi.
Hi.
That's also me. 3 different outfits, same guy. Are you all with me? All right. Okay, for the sake of the others, we're going to pretend that they're 3 different people from now on. I won't call attention to it. We'll call that being meta. No. What was I talking about? Yeah, that Shingon one was good. And there was an example of mind heart. Like your mind is here. Also your heart is the same thing. And it's kind of like, aren't they at war? Isn't it mind versus my mind wants this, but my heart wants this, but my wiener. I'll just get back to them. 1. Mind in italics. This is mind talking. Okay. So it's like Carl and his soul talking. Okay. That should be fun. Mind. Restrain that. No. It's not Carl's soul. We'll find the voice as we go. Mind. Restrain, then, the discourse, O thrice greatest Hermes, and call to remembrance the things said. Is that the mind? But this is still the mind. I'm still trying to find it. But as it has occurred to me to speak, as the mind, I will not delay. All right, I think we found the voice. That's the mind voice. Hermes. Many speaking many things, and those different, concerning the universe and the God. I learnt not the truth. Do thou, Master, make plain to me concerning this, for to thee only would I confide the explanation concerning these things. 2. Mind. Hear, O child, how the God and the universe have themselves. God, the eternity, the world, the time, the generation. The God makes eternity, the eternity the world the time, but the time the generation. But of the God is, as it were, essence, the good, the beautiful, the happiness, the wisdom. Of the eternity the identity, of the world, the order, of the time, the change. Changes. Turn and face the strange. Changes. I don't read that. That one's getting old. Maybe not for the people who are new, but for the people who've been watching for a while, they're like, oh, come on, not this again, surely. But of the generation, the life, and the death. Can never have too much of those guys. A band called Death. It's literally just called Death. But if you search for Death on Google, you won't get there. You have to search for a band called Death. All right, keep going. The energies of the God, mind, and soul, but of the eternity, permanescence, and immortality, but of the world, restitution and redestruction, but of the time, augmentation and diminution, and of the generation, quality. The eternity, then, is in the God, the world in the eternity, but the time in the world, and the generation in the time. And the eternity indeed is stationed around the God, and the world is moved in the eternity. The time is accomplished in the world, but the generation takes place in time. 3. The foundation, then, of all things is the God, but essence the eternity, matter the world, power of the God the eternity, work of the eternity the world, not sometime generated, but always generated by the eternity. Neither, therefore, will it ever be corrupted, for eternity is incorruptible, nor does any of the things in the world perish, the world being encompassed by the eternity. Hermes. Remember, that was the mind talking sometimes. Hermes. But the wisdom of God, what is it? Mind. The good and the beautiful, and the happiness, and the whole of virtue, and the eternity. The eternity then provides the immortality, imparting also permanence to the matter. 4. For the generation of that is dependent from the eternity, as also the eternity from the God. For the generation and the time in heaven and in earth are beings double in nature. In heaven, indeed, unchangeable and incorruptible, but in earth, changeable and corruptible. And of the eternity, indeed, the soul is the God, but of the world, the soul is the eternity, but of the earth, the heaven. And the God indeed is in the mind, but the mind in the soul, but the soul in the matter, but all these through the eternity. But this, the universal body, in which are all the bodies, is full of soul, but the soul full of the mind and of the God. Within it fills, but without encircles it, vivifying the universe. Without indeed this, the great and perfect animal, the world, but within all the animals, and above indeed in the heaven abiding in the identity, but below upon the earth changing the generation. 5. But the eternity keeps together this, whether through necessity, or through providence, or through nature, and if anything else anyone thinks or shall think. Yeah, I guess. That's what it says. This universe the God is energizing, but the energy of God being a power insuperable, with which one could compare neither things human nor things divine. Wherefore, O Hermes, by no means of things below, nor of things above, shouldst thou think any like to the god, since thou bodies... What? Since there's a page in between there. Since thou wouldest fall from the truth, for nothing is like to the without like. What? Nothing is like to the, with capital T, without like and only and one. Oh, okay. For nothing is like to the idea of the, as opposed to or whatever. Without like and only and one, and not to any other one, shouldst thou think that he yields in the power. I don't understand the use of the there, but we'll pretend it makes sense and move on. For maybe it makes more sense in ancient Greek or whatever. For who beside him is either life and immortality and change of quality? It doesn't either precede or, and never mind. And what else should he, with a capital H, do? For the god is not inert, else all things would become inert, for everything is full of God. For neither in the world is inertness anywhere, nor in any other. For inertness is an empty word, both as to the maker and the thing generated. 6. For all things must be generate, both always and according to the preponderance of each place. For the maker, with a capital M, is in all things, not settled in any. For making is something, but all things. Oh, let me see if I'm okay. Let me trip you out. Maybe. It's obvious, but it's good to draw our attention to it every once in a while. Ongoing eternal now, which has many, if not infinite, parts in all directions. What was I saying? I never mind. Maybe that was enough. Was that supposed to have a conclusion, or is that it was a subject without a predicate? It is the predicate. Okay, let's figure out where we were. Oh, right. Yeah. No, I was drawing sort of a parallel to like choosing one of three particular gods and saying someone is the avatar, or in the example of Jesus, in a sense, you could stretch a few definitions and say he was meant to be the avatar of Yahweh or something, but his son at the same time, but it was kind of like, they're the one essence or whatever. So sort of like Krishna and Vishnu, but like different, because it's over there, the Abrahamic thing. What was I talking about? Yeah, the real one, the real son of God, the real avatar of whatever god or non-god or goddess or whatever you want to call it, the great being or whatever, is the ongoing now in all directions, weaving a trail in memory, and that's it, right? For the maker is in all things, not settled in any, nor making in something, but all things. That's kind of what they're saying, as basically I was rephrasing it and kind of agreeing with it in a way, on a level for sure. Worth having among the 5 or 7 jewels that you can put on and kind of go, oh yeah, that's how to look at it. But it's good not to get too attached to those kinds of jewels, For power being energizing is not self-sufficient in the things generated, but the generated are under him. Contemplate through me the world subjected to thy view. Oh yeah, this is the mind talking. And consider accurately the beauty of it. A body indeed undecayable, and then which is more ancient, and throughout the whole in full vigor, and new, and still more vigorous. Like, it's one thing to look at a plant and then kind of cog on the idea that, oh, right, I am life. life has chosen to take many forms and sometimes gets all multicellular about it, with the sexual reproduction and the family trees and all that. And some of us are moss. But so that's one level. But being able to identify with the sands of the desert, that's being eternal through identification with your body, if you're into that, which I'm not. Okay. But it's fun. Like, things are fun to think about at times, you know. Things you end up thinking about. Like, did anybody get to the second half of Neverending Story? The book, I mean. I'll keep reading. 7. Behold also those subject 7 worlds, arranged in eternal order, perhaps this, and in different course fulfilling the eternity, and all things full of light, but fire nowhere. Okay. For the friendship and the combination of things opposite and those dissimilar became light, shining forth through the energy of the God, generator of all good, and prince of all order and guide of the 7 worlds, a moon, the precursor of all these, organ of the nature changing the matter below, and the earth in the midst of the universe, established as support of this beautiful world.
It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. For you. For you.
Thank you, Jerry Casale. Click through, subscribe, don't think, just, and then come back. Nourisher and nurse of those upon earth. Behold also the multitude of the immortal animals, how large it is, and of the mortal, in the midst of both as well as of the immortal as of the mortal, the moon revolving around. 8. All things, then, are full of soul, S-O-U-L, and all things properly moved by that, some indeed around the heaven, but others around the earth, and neither the right towards the left, nor the left towards the right, nor those above downwards, nor those below upwards, and that all these are generate, O most beloved Hermes. Thou dost not still need to learn of me, for they are bodies that have soul and are moved. But for these to concur in one is impossible, apart from the gatherer. 9. This then must be some one and such altogether one. For different and being many, the motions and the bodies not similar, yet but one velocity ordered throughout all. It is impossible that there be 2 or more makers, for the one order is not preserved with many. For in the feebler emulation will ensue of the superior, and they will contend. And if the other was the maker of the mutable animals and mortals, he would have desired to make immortals also, just as also he of the immortals mortals. Okay, let me get this right. I just have to pick on it a little. If there's stuff, that means someone created it. And if someone created it, then he must have a membership at the local club where he plays tennis with other abstract philosophical concepts, right? It's making a lot of assumptions, is what I'm saying. Suppose then, if also there be 2, one being the matter and one the soul, with which of them would be the conducting of the making, and of what also with both, with whom the larger portion. What are the 2? The soul and the matter. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you define soul as perhaps not the way Carl does, but as that which is experiencing. But I tend to think of it as having a connotation which it expresses itself through a character. It's somehow married to the word persona, you know, where that which experiences isn't necessarily the one thinking and forming thoughts and Well, I don't want to make anyone dissociate while they're sitting there watching their phone. I'll just keep reading. I mean, the other thing that came to mind that I wasn't sure if I should mention, because I don't think necessarily it's what was intended by whoever the writer or writers was, but a thought that occurred to me was that this ongoing now can only be experienced in the first person by the one great being who is. So all of the first persons experiencing it and recording videos for each other on YouTube are, there's only one. Then it's like, oh man, I don't like that. And then there's put your individual separate self through a cheese grater and merge with the great oneness and go, that's better. Like, there's two different ways to do it. You can do it with or without metaphors, and you can do it with whatever metaphors you'd like. But it's fun to do, and try not to get put in a padded cell for your trouble. I'm sort of more or less quoting my dad with that. 10. But think thus, as of every living body having the constitution of matter and soul, and of the immortal, and of the mortal, and of the irrational. I mean, okay, so if we define the soul as that which is doing the experiencing, and then we merge our separate self with the great oneness, then it's actually how much of it is God and how much of it is this bumbling, fumbling pile of rocks that we accidentally manifested indirectly 14 or 15 billion years ago, where we're doing something. I don't know, like trying to be creative, I guess, whatever it was. For all living bodies are animated, but those not living are again matter by itself. And soul, likewise by itself, approached to the Maker, is cause of the life. Maybe. I don't know. That seems like finding causation with correlations. Maybe a little bit, but possibly. But cause of all the life is that which is cause of the immortals. Hermes. But how are also the mortal animals different from the immortal? And how is it that the immortal and making immortality makes not the animals so? Why didn't you make the animals immortal? From your perspective, come out of the cave, Plato. 11. Mind. And that there is some one who is making these things is plain, and that he is also one is most manifest. For also there is one soul, and one life, and one matter. Hermes. Who then is he? It's you, you fool. No, okay, sorry. Just give me a head. Mind. Who may it be other than the one God? For to whom can it belong to make animated animals but to the God only? One then is God. I don't know. That might be the bumbling rocks that we accidentally manifested 14 billion years ago that are more to blame than God or any kind of oneness being of present time. But we're definitely cousins with the rocks, Most ridiculous, then, if having, at the very least, if we're not the rocks themselves, or perhaps none of it. It's up to you. Where are you on the spectrums? I think there's 2 spectrums, cross spectrums there. You don't have to be on either one. You can embrace it all if you want to. Most ridiculous, then, if having acknowledged the world to be one, and the sun one, and the moon one, and the divinity one, but the God himself to be as multiple as you wish.
As you wish.
12. He then makes everything in many ways. I mean, I think the next question is like, well, does that mean I should go around smashing stuff? No, is the answer to that question, right? You couldn't be like, oh, everything's one, without being like, anybody who expresses it as many or specific forms is going to get... Never mind. 12. He then makes everything in many ways, This is the mind talking. I forget what the mind sounded like. He then makes everything in many ways. And what the great thing is it for what? Yeah, that's what it says. And what great thing is it for the God to make life and soul and immortality and change, thou doing such many things, for thou seest and speakest and hearest and smellest and tastest and touchest and walkest. You can stop with the ist. And understandest, but it looks like a German word for first line. It's understandest. And breathest. Come on. And it is not it. No, never mind. It is not another who is seeing, and another who is hearing, and another who is speaking, and another who is touching, and other who is smelling, and other who is walking, and other who is understanding, and who is breathing. That's the final step, is rather than thinking of it as, really? Am I one with this great being of ongoing, eternally unfolding and blossoming now? Or am I not? And then when that crosses over into, there's no one here except for those of us who are talking. On whatever level. Anyway, not saying that people who are refraining from talking, but you know what I mean. Like, never mind. If not mushrooms. But neither are these possible to be apart from the God. For just as shouldest thou become inert of these, thou art no longer animal, so neither should the God become inert of them. What it is not lawful to say, no longer is he God. Say, is that a dog whistle? This was a long time ago. This was before that. 13. For if it is demonstrated that nothing is possible to be apart from the God or inert, in bracket parentheses, thank you for your assumptions, but by how much rather the God? For if there is anything that he does not make, if it be lawful to say it, what are you getting about? What laws are you talking about? He is imperfect, okay? But if he is not inert, but perfect, then he makes all things. For a little give thyself up to me, O Hermes. Thou wilt the more easily understand the work of the God as being one, that all the things generate be generate, whether those once generated as those about to be generated. But this, O most beloved, is life. This is the beautiful. This is the good. This is the God. 14. If thou wishest also to understand this in operation, see what would happen to thee wishing to engender. But this is not like to him, for he indeed is not delighted, nor has he another co-operator, not the virgin. Sorry. For being self-working, he is always in the work, being himself what he makes. For if he should be separated from it, of necessity all things must collapse, all things be death-struck, as there not being life. But if all things are living, and one also the life, one then also is the God. And again, if all things are living, both those in the heaven and those in the earth, and one life throughout all things is generate by the God, and this is the God. Then all things are generate by the God, but life is the union of mind and soul. Is anybody going to answer the door? All right. Death, however, not the destruction of the compounds, but dissolution of the union. 15. Eternity, then, is the image of the God, but of the eternity, the world, of the world, the son, of the son, the man. All of that was in bracket parentheses. But, it was someone's note, okay. But this transmutation, the people say to be death, because that the body indeed is dissolved, but the life, it being dissolved, departs to the obscure. But in this discourse, what? Discourse, O Hermes, most beloved to me, I say, as thou hearest. the world also to be transformed, because of part of it becoming each day in the obscure, but by no means to be dissolved. And there are the passions of the world, revolutions and occultations, and the revolution is conversion, but the occultation renovation. It's kind of a bar, isn't it? 16. For the world is of all manner of forms, not having the forms lying without, but itself changing them in itself. Since then the world was generated of all forms, he having made it, what should he be? For without form, and indeed he cannot be. He also need not have a masculine pronoun. I'm just throwing it out there, but I kind of get what you're saying. And if he be also of all forms, he will be like to the world. But having one form, so far he will be inferior to the world. What then may we say him to be, lest we reduce the discourse into doubtfulness? For nothing doubtful is to be understood about the God. He has then one idea, which is his proper own, which is incorporeal, may not be subject of the sight, and shows all ideas by means of the bodies. And be not astonished if there be some incorporeal idea. 17. For it is as if that of the discourse and margins in the writings. For they are seen wholly outside, but smooth in the nature. They are also entirely even. But consider what is said more boldly, but yet more truthfully. For just as a man cannot live apart from life, so neither can the God live without doing the good. For this is as it were life, and as it were motion of the God, to move all things, and to vivify. 18. But some of the things spoken ought to have particular consideration. Understand as such what I say. All things are in the God, not as if lying in place. For the place indeed is both body and immovable, and things lying have not motion. For they lie otherwise in incorporeal, otherwise in appearance. Understand him comprising all things, and understand that than the incorporeal there is nothing more comprehensive, nor quicker, nor more powerful, but it of all things is the most comprehensive and quickest and most powerful. 19. And understand thus of thyself, and command the soul of thine to proceed in India.
India.
And quicker than thy command it will be there. Command it to proceed to the ocean, and there again it will quickly be. Not as if having passed on from place to place, but as if being there. Command it also to fly up to the heaven, and it will not be in want of wings, nor will anything be hindrance to it, neither the fire of the sun nor the atmosphere. Okay, I think we're talking about astral projection, but let's keep reading. Nor the revolution, nor the bodies of the other stars, but piercing through all, or we're talking about the immovable. It will fly up even to the last body, or tardigrades. And if thou shouldest wish even to break through this universe, and to behold the things without, parentheses, if indeed there be anything without the world, end parentheses, what's up with the parentheses? It is possible for thee. Maybe someone said that, whatever. 20. See how much power, how much speed thou hast. Art thou able for all these things together, but the God? What? But the God not? After this manner then understand the God, as if that he had all understandings in himself, the whole world itself. If then thou wouldest not compare thyself with the God, thou canst not understand the God, for like is understandable by like. Wink, wink, your God. I mean, come on. You gonna get it one of these days? Just Google Vedanta. Augment thyself to an immeasurable magnitude, having got rid of all body, and having surpassed all time, become eternity, and thou wilt understand the God. Having supposed in thyself nothing impossible, think thyself immortal, and able to understand all things, every art indeed, every science, the habit of every animal. Become more lofty than every height and lower than every depth. Collect in thyself all the sensations of the things made of fire, water, dry and moist, and at the same time to be everywhere in earth, in sea, in heaven, not yet to have been born, to be in the womb, young, old, to have died, things after the death, and having understood all these things together, times, places, affairs, qualities, quantities, thou wilt be able to understand the God. 21. But if thou shouldest shut up the soul of thee in the body, and debase it, and say, I understand nothing, I can nothing, I fear the sea, I am not able to ascend into the heaven, I know not who I have been, I know not who I shall be, what with thee and with the God. That's if you sit around saying that dumb shit. Continue. For thou canst understand nothing of things beautiful and good, being a lover of the body and evil. Oh, yeah, you love the body and evil. I think you can love the body and evil and know your God at the same time. It's sort of like patting your head and rubbing your belly. You know. For the complete evil is the being ignorant of the divinity, but the being able to have known and to will and to hope is the right way, peculiar of the good, and smooth and easy. Journeying, he will meet thee everywhere, everywhere will he be seen. Where and when thou dost expect, watching, sleeping, sailing, journeying by night, by day, speaking, silent, for there is nothing which is not image of the divinity. 22. Hermes. Is the God invisible? Mind. Speak well, and who is more manifest than he? For this very thing he made all things, that thou mayest discern him throughout all things. Are you screwing the pooch right at the end, mind? This is the good, I guess it's true, it's a paradox. This is the good of the God. This is his universe, that he is apparent throughout all things. For nothing is invisible, not even of the incorporeal. Mind is seen in the understanding, the God in the making. These things have to thee as to so much have been explained, O Trismegistus. But all the other things likewise consider with thyself, and thou shalt not be deceived. Today's kind of a good day. Today is the first time since we began reading the Divine Pymander that I actually feel proud that Jin Aquarian named me Pymander Aquarian after it. And that, not only is that saying a lot, that's a high compliment, and that's genuinely a very personal, positive takeaway from this greater journey that we're on here on Chicken Philosophy. So, yeah. I would highly recommend, especially if you're kind of aware of my whole thing about, okay, Carl Jung went through his thing, right? Then he read this book, then he gave this lecture, and everybody took notes, and that became kind of a dogma thing where people would read that and then come to India and be like, so are you guys like, and then say what Carl Jung said, and they'd be like, yeah, that's kind of a good way to put it. Who said that? And they'd be like, Carl Jung. So then you go to India 100 years later, and you ask the yogis, so what's it all about? And they'll say, well, as Carl Jung said. And you're like, So yeah, you can find in the layers, the sedimentary layers, like in the Grand Canyon, the different colored layers in the rock there. You can find in the form of a practice in Shingon Buddhism on a mountaintop in Japan, a frozen moment in time that may have existed around Nalanda University in the 700s or so. You know what I mean?
And then another 900 years later, it became popular to have 7 chakras instead of 5. So if that's just piquing your curiosity, then be sure to click the link in the middle of the screen right after the chicken clock, which is coming right now.